everybody. We are in the midst of a very, very close series. It is 2-2 for Stats versus Solar here in the losers finals of SSL.
Yep, things are all tied up here, Valdez.
Yes, they are, Wolf.
Yes. 2-2. And makes you wonder who is going to get the next bit of a matchup. I really like Ruins of Ceres, even if I never thought I'd say that about a 4-player map ever, but I do like the dynamic that has changed based on spawning locations in this matchup specifically. And I'm really excited to see who's going to get the edge, because both players actually listed this map like pretty highly. And I'm curious as to what they've got planned for this.
Yeah, they both are going to be pretty okay on this map. I think it slightly favors Solar here. And he's got his momentum back. You know, he just won 2 in a row, one cheese, one straight up game on Prime Terraces. This is going to be the moment for both of these players now to get the lead and get it to match point. So let's jump into game number 5 now of Stats versus Solar. Welcome to Ruins of Ceres for game number 5 of Stats versus Solar here. Up in the top right in the red, the Verdos player is Stats.
And his opponent down here, over here, the top left in blue, it is Solar. Again, massive cheers for this guy. Seems like every time the cheer gets louder, winning over supporters with these games. 2 gates. We'll be seeing 2-gate adept here from Stats.
Yeah, coming out pretty fast as well. I think he's going to be very happy about the spawns. You can get to that natural pretty fast. If you are not at cross spawns, obviously. This is one of the biggest in the pool, if not the biggest, especially if you are at cross spawns here. So,
ooh.
Same, look at this. Solar going for double hatch before pool.
It's the first time he's changed the build, too. Looks like Stats has got some secret info about how he likes to play this map, where he studied the VODs, you know, he's seen him on ladder. Either way, he knows how to make a solid build here. Late spawning pool, he will be getting speed. He even gets the gas first before the pool, which I do like in this case, considering the situation. But an incorrect scout from Solar as well, so he's not going to find out about what's happening for a very long time, and that could really hurt him here.
Yeah, is he going to have the defense ready to defend against 2-gate adept this fast? I'm not so sure. Whoa, and at the same time, he's clicking one of those patches. I just had a Korean caster moment where I'm like, oh, whoa! Oh, the drones on the water, you know?
Yeah. I love to tease them, because we just watched, like, I never realized how much they do that, sort of gasping, I think is like the proper word for it, until we watch these Korean commentary highlight reels, in which case we just hear gasping repeatedly. And both of us can speak fluent Korean, by the way, so we understand what they're saying, but just the gasping part is, the excitement levels are intense. Now we're going to see this Adepts show up here, not a single Ling, but he's pooled Larva. 2 Lings are going to pop out. He pulled Larva for safety, and so he has enough Larva to make some Lings here to defend now. But he's already losing, you know, he lost the first few Lings.
Yeah. Is it going to be enough? That's the question. Look at this, coming in, already getting 1 drone. All these drones have to run away, and now coming into the main, focusing down a bunch of drones, and there's 2 more Adepts on the way here. Still no defense for Solar.
And Adepts are pretty tanky units. I mean, even with these Lings that have come out and the Queens that are now out, he just keeps targeting down drones and ignoring that DPS. These Lings actually stopping that one Adept for a little bit of time. That was pretty frustrating. There's no drones here on the main for him to even kill, so he's going to lose the first Adept here without much damage. I think the second one will just barely escape. Going to be close. Yeah, gets out of there. And then the next 2 Adepts are going to arrive, and it just continues onwards and onwards, this harassment, putting him down to 20 workers. Stats obviously has a Nexus coming up a bit later as a result from this. Yeah. But he's ahead in workers.
He's forced so many Lings out here. He forced a lot of lost mining time. He is going to have these 3 hatcheries, so he can get that online very, very fast. And Stats has stopped at 4 Adepts. He's not going to overcommit to the harass. He's going to make 2 more here once that warp gate does finish up. And I guess he can poke here just a bit more, you know, force some more lings out. But Solar is making only lings now on 28 drones and 3 bases.
And a lot of extra larva, and he's hiding these lings again. And extra gas, interesting. Really interesting. I wonder what he's going to have planned with this second gas coming down. He's continuing to mine gas from his main gas as well. And there's the Baneling Nest. I was literally about to say, I think he's going to drop a Baneling Nest because he's hiding these lings. This is not a coincidence, man. He is the Baneling master right now. He's probably got a Baneling plushie in the booth.
He probably does, man. He's going to need a huge number of Banes, though, to deal with this many Adepts on the ground. Already 8 have been made.
And look at the building placement here as well. A tight wall set up. You may want it to be even tighter, because an Adept isn't going to last very long against a lot of Adepts, or excuse me, a Baneling hits. And he's going to be able to overcharge, of course. Phoenix is going to help out a little bit in this fight. He didn't get to see all those lings. That was very well hidden by Solar.
Solar's been doing a great job. Look at this mining in the main. There's 3 drones on minerals and 3 on gas.
Notice that he keeps the main as the base that doesn't have drones. If his third base is the one that didn't have drones, this would be obvious to stats, but because he keeps the main base as the one that doesn't have the drones, this is very well hidden. He checks the watchtower. Look at where his lings are going. He's hiding them down to the bottom of the map. Whoa. Very smart execution here. We're about to see a big Baneling morphs. This is actually going to be a crazy game. Some defensive Banelings here as well as he sees those Adepts come across the map.
I wonder how he's going to go for this. He's morphing Banes now with the big group of lings that are out on the map. And, I mean, Stats is seeing nothing but lings, too.
All right, he sees them. He sees these now, and they just shaded, by the way.
Ooh, getting a couple of good hits there. Lifting one of the Banes into the sky, but he doesn't know about
the
this.
Second wave. He doesn't know about this. He's making a lot more pylons. I think he's starting to get an idea. He's like, okay, this is a big attack coming in. Oh, the Adepts are stuck outside, Valdez. He has to shade once more.
The surround, though, and here come the Banes. Goodbye, Adepts. Every single one goes down.
Every single one of them. Not a single one alive. And that wall I was talking about is still not tight there with the Zealots not even on hold position.
He didn't have a Mothership core either.
Oh, not as, you're right. And now all these Zealots going down. So many probes coming through. Every single lane goes through the choke there as well. And so many probes are going to start to die. Now, Stats, can he survive here?
Well, I mean, he does have 42 probes. He hasn't taken too much damage. There is a bunch of damage coming down here in the main, but Adepts being warped in for the defense. The probes are going to help out. And it looks like he is going to hold, but Solar's not letting up on the pressure.
Yep, and he lost all of his units, basically. He lost his army more than he lost economy. So if Solar continues to pressure like this, he may eventually break him. The Mothership core doesn't have infinity energy. You know, it's already out, basically, with all those overcharges he dropped. But he is going to transition now to 11, 12 drones.
Yeah, the Oracle is just helping out so much against all the Lings and the Banes. I mean, he's got a bunch of pylons. He actually blocked, it looks like, a couple of those gas drones. Or probes, rather.
I would like to see another follow-up attack here. I think it's totally warranted. It's not an all-in anymore. You know, you could definitely find some damage. But it looks like Stats is going to catch this Queen. These Phoenixes did kind of go under the radar. You know, he didn't really have much of an answer for them. The Spore just barely finishes here. And 2 more as he's made it as soon as he saw those Phoenixes.
It's really nice that he gets that Queen. There were only 3 on the map. That's why the creep spread is pretty poor at this point. Stats, you know, he's just going to continue playing that defensive style. Do the harass damage with the Phoenixes, use your Adepts to defend, and get a third base up. I think we are going to transition into a pretty standard game here.
Yeah. You know, looking back on it, I think if he did a follow-up attack, it may not have worked anyways. Like, Stats got a few warp-ins with the economy he had.
Yeah, also the Oracle's out on the map. I mean, that's going to help out so much against any kind of attack like that.
Yeah, I think that Solar may just be out of luck in this game now. I mean, he essentially all-in and it failed. What can he find here? He's getting a lair. He's going to make Baneling speed and go for mass Banelings. I mean, look at all the gas he's mining. What else can he possibly be looking to do? He's not going Mutas here.
Well, he's going to finish that lair up.
Hydra Den, maybe?
The tech is really late, for sure.
Yeah. Like, he can't even get enough Hydras out to deal with these Phoenixes. The Phoenixes want him to make Hydras. Like, oh, please, I will kill every single one that spawns as they trickle out.
Yeah, he is using a lot of this energy on drones, and he is doing quite a number of kills there at this third base specifically. He's going to pick up this drone now that wants to go make a fourth base.
He's out of energy.
Wow, is he actually going to... Okay.
Oh, barely.
Just barely picks that up. And at the same time, I mean, the third base of Stats is pretty late.
I love that Stasis wards are getting more play in Korea now. Seeing them all the time. more harassment down on these drones right now. And he's just trying to find windows. These Hydras are going to pop up, but as I mentioned, he wants that to happen. He's not going to have enough energy, though. I think a few of those have energy. No, it's still purple. Yeah. Just barely out. It's been a pretty fun game. You know, Solar may be able to recover here.
Just maybe. I mean, it's a pretty big map. He's going to have to take the fourth base that's closer to Stats, just because of these Phoenixes that are denying the fourth base that's very far away from Stats, obviously. And Mass Templar Archives here. Going to get that up while he makes double Immortal. Not going to make too many Gateway units just yet.
Kark, like, just chirping in the background.
I heard that too. I'm like,
chill
that's
out.
The cricket in the background that's like, oh, the silence.
Yeah. Oh man, is this Ling trigger to stasis? That would be really funny. No.
All the Phoenixes got to get away here.
Oh, I love how much Solar is actually committing to, you know, every time Stats is looking elsewhere, he's trying to get pickoffs on Phoenixes. Bailing speed is on the way, so we're going to see that again. And I think with how Stats has kind of been building these comps, it can work, but this time he's going to have Storm. You know, something he did not have when this comp worked in the previous set. So, just something to keep in mind, because as much as I think this is really cool, and it does kind of counter in a lot of ways the comp that's built from Stats, with Storm, those units fade away. Whereas last time it's like, well, all the Zealots are dead, I got force fields up, but the Hydras shoot over the force fields and they're really strong. They have good range, they have a lot of damage output.
Solar needs to attack very fast here. Storm only about halfway done. And Stats to see this attack coming across here. He's going to need some pretty sick stasis ward hits. He's got 2 cannons too. The Mothership Core is waiting nearby.
28 Banelings morphing, in addition to the ones he already has, and even more. 34 currently. Here we go. Baneling's speed is done. It lines up with his attack. He's going to wait though. Force fields get baited. Storm is going to finish if he waits much longer though. 14 seconds on that. There are already 4 High Templar in this mix. They're very well positioned behind those pylons. Here come the overcharges.
Really nice force fields here at the north, blocking off a huge chunk of those Banes. There's a small number here, but Storm is now done, and here are the High Templar. Overcharge being dropped as well.
Stasis ward explodes as well. Here come the Storms, as you mentioned. He does split very well against the Storms, and he's going to come in with an arc/concave with these Hydras, excuse me.
And the Banelings rolled into all the sentries and the High Templar. Look at this arc right now with the Hydras.
He doesn't have enough. And look at this, Baneling's going to crash in. The last of the Immortals are going to fall. He goes straight into the mineral line. And Solar has figured this matchup out versus Stats.
GG. That's game number 5 going to Solar now. He is on match point. What a fantastic game that was.
That was a really, really good game. I thought his number was up.
Yeah.
He failed an all-in. He did some damage to the army, didn't hurt the economy. He got a 4th base up. Solar got harassed by a ton of Phoenixes, still stabilized, made this push work. He has like mastered Baneling speed attacks versus Protoss.
You know, we talk about Mr. Top 3 control stats, but I have to say in that last fight, that wasn't the best control. I mean, the building placement definitely hindered his army positioning for sure. But once the Banelings, it was a nice move by Solar actually to try to move those Banelings in close and get on top of the sentries and the High Templar. He did exactly that. I think he blew up a couple of High Templar that had full energy, or at least enough energy for a Storm, and he got all of the sentries with one blow. And then when there was no Storms and no force fields, the Hydras were just left to do a ton of damage without any consequences.
Yeah. I want to mention both KT Rollster coaches are in the booth with Stats right now, trying to keep his hopes alive. Now, the next map is going to be Lair Like Crest. The 7th and final map, if Stats wins this game, will be Arena, which we've seen a lot of really crazy games on that map. But
I hope we get there, man.
I feel like it's a map that suits Solar's playstyle, especially in this best of 7 where he's trying new things and showing us things we've never seen before. I think Arena is the type of map that a Zerg like Solar is looking to play on, so I'm really liking his chances here.
I'm not sure how the Banelings would work on Arena, but I think they could work pretty well on this map. If he breaks down the back door, well, actually, now that I say that, that's pretty easy to force field off. I suppose Stats could buy a lot of time near the backdoor rocks on Lair Like Crest. So maybe Solar, or rather Stats, will have a better time on this map than Solar. We'll see what he's going to be able to do on map number 7 if it gets there.
And in that last camera shot we had of Stats, he looked defeated already. Looks really frustrated.
Yeah, we were saying the same of Solar, but now he's won 3 in a row, and he looks really confident. You know, it's funny how fast things change. And you were talking about the double KT coaches. Stats was saying it in his interview. It's been 8 years, and he hasn't had a championship. He wants this so badly.
This is the closest he's ever come to a Star League